Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we are back with another brick build set. Yes, today we're going to be doing this Sluban Titanic in 1 in 350 scale. This model is measured 77 centimeters long and it's got 2,401 pieces, ages for 6+ and up. And this is going to be an awesome set. I think the last time we built a Sluban set was a few months back or last year. I think it was the Bismarck. So feel free to check that video out, guys. It's actually a fun build and it's actually a very cool video. And this one comes with two minifigures, as you can see down there. Now, as we all know, this Titanic is not like the Titanic from the movie Titanic, but they're trying to make it look like one. And it's got the two figures that represents Rose and what's his name again? Jack? Yeah, Rose and Jack. And so there it is. There's the picture of the ship on the front of the box. It's actually pretty cool. So we can see the ship at the front of the box. That's what it looks like when it's finished up. It's got very nice colors like the white, the black, and the red. It looks exactly what the ship should look like. And the mast, and it's got ropes on it as well. So let's just take a closer look here. Let's just pull this box to the front here so you can have a nice, better detailed look here at the front. So let's just clear the screen up a little for you guys. So we got a little anchor right here. That's cool, even though it doesn't really look like an anchor, but it represents an anchor. I believe that is sort of a skater. Looks more like a shoe skate, the ice skating shoe thingy, you know, made to represent an anchor. It looks like we've got some sticker details here as well. We've got the name Titanic over here, which I believe is a little... looks like a little mistake right there. Titanic should be, the name Titanic should be right at the front of the bow, right about there, and not there. So we got a nice name plaque down here, got a nice little display stand. I don't know what these are supposed to represent, these two little crystal thingies here. I'm not sure what they are, but nonetheless, I don't believe I'll be incorporating that little detail in the build. But nonetheless, but the rest of the ship is cool. It's got a lot of cool details. It's got all the windows. It's got all the decks, the davits, you know, the funnel. Everything's exactly what the Titanic should look like. And we got proper propellers down here as well, as you can see that. This box is really heavy, but you can see there are propellers. Okay, let's swing the box to the back so you can have a pretty good look here. There we go. There's the ship from another angle. Let's just pick this box up so you can have a clear look there. There's your three propellers. And there's the name Titanic, Liverpool on the stern. Got some pretty cool details. And this model can be split into two sections. As you can see here, there's the back section and there's the front section here. So we got some interior details there as well. So we got part for Rose, and then we've got Jack's little room right there. Looks like we've got engine room details down here. Now it's a little out of scale, but nonetheless, I mean, it's okay. So, without further ado, guys, let's crack right into the build and let's start building. Alright guys, so there you go. There's the finished look of the Titanic. All completed, 77 centimeters long. It is so huge. I mean, this is by far one of the largest brick building ship sets I've ever had in my collection. And before we get to the ship itself, let's just talk about the minifigures that come with the ship. So here are the two figures that came with the set. And one is Rose and the other one is Jack. But unfortunately, there are inaccuracies. Their hair color is wrong. They're supposed to be sort of a brown color to a dark, almost black hair. But unfortunately, Sluban gave us yellow hair. So I think they're trying to steer away from copyright reasons, maybe. But nonetheless, it's not very accurate. But the clothes are close to the ones as seen in the film. So, I mean, I give 5 out of 10 for these two figures. And it's not too bad. I mean, for kids, these are not too bad. So overall, it took me 3 days to build. It is very, very awesome. I mean, I love the building experience from building the ship. I mean, in person, it looks huge, 3.5 feet long. I mean, I really like the look of the ship. So let's just take a closer look at the ship, shall we? So taking a look at the bow section of the ship here. So we got our nice gold anchor. Now I understand why Sluban did this. I think it's because they want some color and depth and contrast so it pops out of the ship instead rather than a black anchor which looks kind of plain. So it's got some pretty good details there. And moving up to the forecastle deck, you can see the front of the bow here. Okay, we got your little flagstaff, of course your nylon string for the riggings, which I attached right there at the front of the bow because according to the instructions, the nylon string is supposed to be attached right there to the anchor crane. But unfortunately, I didn't like that placement, so I decided to do it like that. And there's your anchors. Not so accurate, but it's okay. I mean, they did the best they could with that detail. Moving down the forecastle deck, we've got our little cargo hatch right there. We got more details here, and there's your main mast. And this is where the crow's nest is supposed to be. But unfortunately, Sluban hasn't given us that little detail, but that's okay. So we got a couple more cranes over here, tiny cranes, and two white 2x3 cargo hatches, and then down here to the deck. And now moving up to the bridge section of the ship. That's where the wheelhouse is supposed to be, right in there. Okay, and Captain Smith's quarters is just right behind on the other side of the ship. So we got some lights here. These are represent lights, these red lights, and it's a green light aside. They look like nav lights on an airplane, but they're not nav lights. Those are just side lights. Okay, there's your main funnel at the front there. Now, I'm not sure what these are supposed to be. Some sort of whistle blower horns or something. I'm not really sure, but please let me know down in the comments below and tell me what those are. Okay. Alright, so we got the Marconi room. It looks like a Marconi room. If I'm not mistaken, the Marconi room is just somewhere right over here. Okay, so we got your davits, and then we have your lifeboats. There's about 4 of them right here, and there's 4 on the other side, and there's 4 more at the back of the stern. So we got your A deck, B deck, C deck, and all the way down to D, G decks. Okay, second funnel. There's your glass dome. There's 1 more at the back. Okay, there's the mid section of the ship. Okay, now working our way down to the midship section, there's our glass dome. Okay, we got ventilator details, more lifeboats, davits, and this is the number 4 funnel, which is actually the dummy funnel. This is not an actual funnel which smokes comes out that attaches to the boiler room. This is more of a ventilation shaft funnel. Okay, and then working down to the second class promenade deck. This is second class promenade. Okay, and down here, down almost to the end of the stern, this section here is called the third class promenade. So we got 3 electric cranes. These things are actually called electric cranes. We've got more little ventilation shaft details there. And there's the rear, the aft main mast. Got our nice rigging detail. Okay, so working down, this is actually called the poop deck detail. I forgot to mention that to you guys. So these are just little details, you know, all the little nicotine details here that we have on the back end of the ship. So we have our rear flagstaff for the stern, and there's our stern there. So we got all sticker details down here as well. Okay, then working our way down, we got our rudders, which is very thin. On the actual ship, it's actually a lot bigger, but Sluban gave us very thin rudders, but that's okay. for the amount, I think for the limitivity of their parts, so they gave us this. We got very nice gold propellers here, guys. I mean, these are now actual propellers, ship propellers that we get. You know, unlike the Bismarck, we actually got these sort of a corkscrew type propellers. Those are not very accurate, but these are far better in detail. And there's our name tag, our plaque for the ship, Titanic. Alright, so now we're going to take out the stern section of the ship. So we're going to show you guys the interior. Now, it is a very tight fit. Now, I think the best thing to do is to take the ship off the display stand so we don't like damage. So now we've got the ship off the stand. So now we're going to try to remove the rear section here so we can show you guys. There we go. There. But I'm going to show you guys this back end interior first. Okay, so we got some engine room details. So you can see for yourself the structure and the number of decks that we've got for the stern section. We've got a couple of deck levels here, and then we've got the interior of the room for Rose and Jack. So we've got a little painting here on the wall. We've got a couple of paint brushes, and there is the easel. This is supposed to represent an easel here. And there is the painting of Rose, painted by Jack. There is a clock. This is all sticker details. I'm not sure what that white thing's supposed to be. It's just a 1x2 flat tile piece sitting on top of a table. And that is supposed, in there, that is supposed to represent a fireplace. And inside there, you can clearly make out there's a teddy bear. There's another painting, and there is a radio. There's a little black color radio in there. Not sure you can see that. There's a little radio in there. Let's just try to clear up on that. And as you can see the lines there, you can clearly make out there's 3 little lines. There's a circle right there on the right corner for the tuning. Okay, and then there's a little chest. There's a green chest case in the left corner with a green something on top. Looks like a cake or something. I'm not really sure about that one. And so there's the back end of the ship. And now we're going to take a look at the front part of the ship. Now this is the first part that we actually built. And then, so there is the, okay, another part of the room. This is actually one room, and to split it into 2 halves. Looking to the back there, we can actually see another painting that looks like that's a sailboat painting. Yeah, we can actually see that looks like a landscape painting in there. There's another painting there on the wall. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. It's a little heart-shaped accessory, probably a little, I'm not really sure, but it's on both sides of the sofa. That's a sofa, by the way. Or is it supposed to be a bed? I'm not sure, but that looks more like a sofa to me. And there's a little jewelry right here, and I can't tell what kind of jewelry this is. It's sitting on top of this little pedestal table thingy here. And there you go. And there's the bottom of the engine room. Another piece of engine room. It looks like doors or panels or maybe compartments. I'm not sure, but this looks more like engine room detail to me. There we go. All right, so there you have it, guys. I mean, this is the interior space that we actually have on both of the half of the Titanic. So now let's just try to plug this both sides of the ship back together. Now the easiest way to do this is to put this on the table here and use both hands to line the 2 halves together like this and just slowly push it in. Okay. There we go. Alright guys, so there you have it. There's the entire build of the Titanic, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's video as much as I did. And please don't forget to click that like button, and of course give our channel some love by subscribing to us. It really helps us out, guys. I mean, I've been very grateful, happy for you guys' support. It's been a blast, guys, doing these videos for you. And please give us a shout out as well. Share our channel to others and our videos. Now, if you'd like to see some more Sluban builds or Cobi builds, please let me know down in the comments below. So that's it for today, guys. So we'll see you guys again next time for more videos. And once again, a big shout out to you all for the wonderful support and that you've given us to us on this channel. Until then, have an awesome day. Cheers.